As predicted in my previous video, around the 31st of May we would see a major event or big news. The death of George Floyd became the trigger for a global uprising against the elite, their police force, National Guard and the rulers, spreading across the US on the 31st of May. I had mentioned that the rain would stop on or around the 31st of May, 40 days after oil plunged, and that a big event or news would come out, and then the waters would continue to rise for another 150 days. This uprising is the beginning of many uprisings against the lockdown, racism, the Fed, the central banking cartel, and many other dictatorial laws made without public consultation, as should be done according to the Constitution under Magna Carta. While the US has lost 40 million jobs and millions more around the world, companies closing, businesses and individuals bankrupt or facing bankruptcy. If we take a step back and look at the landscape, we find that the stock markets are having a great time with an upward rise, while we are all distracted by the pandemic-induced fear and social issues the elite media have amplified and bombarded us with for many months and years. Surely business success and stock market valuations are based on sales and profitability. Yet no one is buying goods and services, and those that have not been bankrupt are hoarding their cash. So how can these companies' values be increasing? The stock markets are disconnected from reality. This is their plan all along. The elites are getting richer with the trillions being pumped into the stock market, while the rest are in the street looting and protesting against racism, while the real looters are the bankers and the institutions robbing us blind. The events that we are seeing are nothing short of misdirection, the magician's trick, while the sheeple are given something to focus on and fight about, while the greatest heist is being executed. Welcome to 2020, everything is bull-ish. Wait for the uprising to get worse and fast spread as has begun in the UK, and full-scale military hits the streets, as is happening in the US. And the tax-paying people who are fed up with the losses and destruction incurred by the orchestrated lockdown are arrested, and the real criminals are released to make space. Soon the defaults on loans will skyrocket, social programs will be overrun and underfunded. How can stock markets be set up for growth when the number of people losing their jobs and businesses increases every minute? Who stands to gain the most from this chaos? You, me, or the globalist banking cabal elite? How the Constitution has been manipulated and interpreted to force us under house arrest, rob us of our right to work, rob us of our right to feed our families, rob us of our religious freedoms to assemble, rob us of our right to spend time with family. Why? Because we are stronger when we are apart. What a dumbass statement, yet every news media, corporate social media, television and radio advert says so. It's the same message over and over and over again. Yet they say the alternate social media is conspiracy theories designed to brainwash the masses. The manipulation continues, the elite Rothschild propaganda machine, through repetition over and over and over again, reminding us that we need to stay at home, stay unemployed, stay poor, stay distracted from the thievery and the looting happening in the stock markets right before our very eyes. Get out of the market now. The fraudsters have rigged the game to crash, and the gamblers are about to be wiped out because they don't know the game and the house always wins. Smart people have walked away, crazy people are trying to guess the next move or the big win. But the game is rigged and they are looking for more suckers to rope in as time is running out. I believe we will see more of the same or worsening until the 150 days are up, taking us into September, as I mentioned in my previous video, where a stock market implosion will take place. Unfortunately, most people cannot resist and will be wiped out again, eventually selling at the bottom, which is where the real wealth transfer happens. We are racing against time to get tangible assets, not just gold and silver. But how about cash reserves out of the bank for 12 months? Taking into account at least 30% inflation in food and other essentials, and considering stocking on food for 3 months. A possible move out of the city, just as the wealthy are doing and have done. The system is geared to reward the cronies at the expense of the producers. I hope you all have a plan, because whatever happens in the US, the Dow Jones, the S&P 500, the out-of-control unemployment, the collapse of the dollar, the collapse of their purchasing power through their trillions of currency printed QE, will filter to the rest of the world faster and more deadly than the current pandemic ever could. The South African government is designing a restructure of its economy from what the president claims to be racist and colonial. Yet another distraction from the real plan of nationalization of the private sector, mining, finance, and especially food production, so that the government owns and controls everything, making the population even more dependent, and where the sheep will get sheared, giving up our sovereignty to China or the IMF through their funding and loan programs. The global financial reset is coming, and the biggest debtors will be bailed out or pardoned, and the rest will see increased inflation in essentials and even increased taxation. And who knows, even bail-ins, where they take our money in the bank to fund their expenses and debts, leaving us with nothing. We are in for a bumpy roller coaster, not so fun ride, so be prepared. Subscribe to my channel, like, and share this video. Thank you.